right, what is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Inside the LPGA Podcast. It is major week once again, and that is why you are seeing all three of us on your screen right now. Hello, everybody. My name is Hope Barnett, and I am so pleased to be joined with my wonderful co-hosts, Adam Stanley and Emma Talley. I am talking to two parents. I'm the odd one out right now, so
go Emma,
you know what? Go Emma, go. Emma, how are we doing? How are you feeling?
You know, I'm making it, but she's so perfect, so it's fine.
It's all worth it. All worth it.
It's all worth it.
No, she's so cute. And we were talking about it on the other podcast, Adam. We were like, we have another co-host now. She's going to have her own little screen, and she's just going to be a little chit-chatting. And we'll get your daughters on as well.
Only girly pops allowed.
Yeah, only girly pops. And Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
plus you.
Appreciate
He's
it.
allowed because he's
trying.
a girl dad, so it's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so it is major week. It is the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. It's the third major of the year, and I'm so hyped up to be in my home state again. How lucky am I to have two majors in Texas, two majors I could drive to.
Texas
We
two-step.
are just exactly. You said it. I mean, I'm eating tacos. I'm acting like I don't already live in Texas. I'm doing all the Texas things this week. Brought my boots. I did all the things. Yeah, why not? I drove here, so I had plenty of room.
Like your cowboy boots?
Yeah, my cowboy boots.
Was it like the pro-am party, like a hoedown or
two-stepping.
something?
I didn't go to the pro-am party.
Okay, wow.
I don't even know if I'm sure there was one, but I did not go. But I should have showed
It's
up
just
in
a
my boots.
fashionista. Come on.
I was going to say.
Thanks, Emma. You're the best. No, but we are at the Fields Ranch East at PGA Frisco. So this is just in the PGA of America's backyard. They always put on such a great event. And I actually want to kind of toss to both of you too before we really get started. How excited are y'all to dive into another major? Because the last two ended up being so good. None of us picked a winner, but that's okay. Maybe the third time will be the charm. But Adam, you kick us off. How excited are you to dive into another major and watch some golf this week?
Yeah, it's been a nice flow through June. Obviously, I covered the PGA Tour as well. So we had my hometown event, the RBC Canadian Open, and then that went right into the U.S. Open, and the U.S. Open goes right into the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. So, super excited for a variety of reasons. I can't wait to watch the best golfers in the world specifically take on this golf course. I mean, obviously, a championship test, a venue that has been built to host the biggest championships in the game. Of course, already hosted the Senior PGA, and we'll get to this in a little bit. But of course, hosting the Men's PGA Championship in the next couple of years as well. Gil Hanse, just an absolutely tremendous architect. Two really beefy, impressive golf courses out there, and that is kind of part of the thing that I'm most excited to see. This week, just the best players in the world taking this on, and I'm sure we'll talk about this as well. But one thing that keeps being repeated and repeated and repeated so far this week is like the parity of the LPGA Tour winners so far in 2025. 15 events, 15 winners. So can we see another one? Can we see a repeat? Can we see somebody go on a second half of the year kind of run? I think this is like a really cool anchor point to the season, and the fact that it's a major at such an impressive venue with all the best players on the tour, with an incredible purse again coming together, I think it's just going to be an awesome week.
Emma, what about you? I know you've played in many of these events, and they put on such a great tournament. And I know you've talked to some caddies and some players. So, what are your thoughts going into this week?
I'm jealous I'm not there. However, I'm glad I don't have to beat the heat. The heat is going to be real this week. I know the players are already, everyone posting on Instagram, everyone that you talk to, that's the first thing they say. It's so hot. Yeah. So it's going to take someone that's used to the heat, because that's actually going to probably take part in who's going to win this tournament. Just not getting too down, drinking electrolytes, like all the things.
100%.
But also, like you said, I mean, what a great event. I wish I was there. They like the snacks on the tee boxes, fabulous. The food is always fabulous.
That's how you know
it's
you're a
gonna be
former player.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
exactly.
you think about. They always give us cars at this event. Like it's just they put on a great event. Even the caddies, they have like a caddy dining area, which is great. It's just like a great tournament. They've done a great job over the years, and just from experience of KPMG championship golf courses, we've had so many Hazeltine, Baltusrol. You can name 1,000 golf courses. They're all really big golf courses, and that's kind of what they keep doing year in to year out is just making these golf courses really big. And it's going to take someone that can hit the ball pretty far this week to win this tournament. So excited to see who's going to hold the trophy. I'll tell you my prediction a little far ahead, but I reckon we're going to have a first time winner again. So I'm excited to see who it is.
Okay, I'm intrigued who you're going to pick, Emma. Like you mentioned, all of these golf courses are big that the PGA of America chooses. This one is no different. It is so long. Even just driving out on a cart yesterday, it took me so long to get out to like the holes like further away from the clubhouse. I was like, I can't even fathom playing this and walking out in this heat. I'm used to this heat. I'm
Hope,
from Texas, and I'm
is it
like
humid?
I can't do this.
Like, okay, is it humid heat or is it just like hot, dry, like
It's actually-
on a frying pan heat? What kind of heat is it?
It's not super humid in Dallas, but
There's no shade.
DFW. Yeah, there's no shade. You just feel like you're baking.
Right.
You walk outside and you're like, so my boyfriend is a caddy and he texted me yesterday. He was like, I feel like an egg in a frying pan.
Yeah.
So if
There you
that
go.
explains
That's the
it.
heat.
There, that's good. Okay,
You
so it's
feel
just
like you're being cooked.
it's just a total sizzler then.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right.
And when I was there's just no shade, and even the walks between the tees, like it's pretty big. It's going to be a hard golf course to physically, I think, for a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
players.
Right.
Oh yeah, you played it, Emma. Tell us about your experience playing the course.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's really long. It's pretty wide open for the most part. The greens can be tricky, and that's probably if you think of all the KPMG courses that we've played, the greens get really firm by Sunday. So, and if it's as hot as it's going to be the rest of the week, the golf course is going to get cooked as well. So
Yeah.
it's going to get really firm, really fast. And yeah, I just remember thinking like, man, this is a big golf course. I probably didn't even play the correct tees when I was there either. So it's probably even
I don't
harder
blame
than what I did.
I would play the most forward tees I could at this golf
Exactly.
course.
So like take it with a grain of salt, but yeah,
Right.
it's just a big golf course, and I think that there'll be birdies, but I think that's the defense of the golf course is how long it is.
Emma, single digit under par winner, do you think?
Now, yeah, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I know.
It's curious, eh? Because it's like, okay, well, the fairways are big, distance, you probably get some run out, right? So, but, to your point, it's like, man,
Well,
is somebody...
it's windy here too.
Right, exactly.
It's really windy here.
Yeah,
so-
it
And a
honestly
grinder might be just like
Yes.
a haul through those 4 days because it's so hot. Yeah.
Yes, it's just going to be a lot of weather depending, I think, like Hope said. Like, if it gets windy out there, who knows what the scores are going to be like?
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing blocking it.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
There's
it's a
no
major.
trees. No shade. Lots of wind.
Yes.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. So it
Carnage.
should be interesting. Carnage. I love a major championship that has a little bit of carnage. I think it just adds to the vibes, That's how it's supposed to be. So I'm very excited. And this is, like you mentioned, Adam, in your intro, this is the second big event held at this golf course. The first one was the Senior PGA Championship. So we are actually playing here before the men, which is really cool. That obviously, as most people listening and watching, that doesn't usually happen. So we get to kind of write history, and they play in 2027. So it's going to be really neat for them to kind of, when they're doing their homework, they're going to look back on probably how the women played it. So that should be very interesting. And I'm excited for this week, but like we've all talked about and very much confirmed, it is going to be a toughie. Amy Yang is defending. She won last year in Sahali. And what a winner. It was her first major championship, and she's one of those players that like everyone was just so happy to see her win. So to see her do it, I got a little emotional watching her make the final putt because she's just so, I mean, everyone is deserving, but she's just such a nice person, and I was so happy for her. I did a walk and talk with her on Tuesday, and she said she actually feels a little bit of pressure going into this week. I mean, I can imagine. She just has so much stuff. She has so much media, and she's doing it all. So, which I really appreciate being in social media. But it's just like, I can't imagine the pressure that she's feeling. And let's talk about our most recent winners really quick. We had Jennifer Kupcho at ShopRite, who we had on the podcast this week, so go listen if you haven't already. And we also had Carlota Segonda, who had not won in 8.5 years on the LPGA Tour. I mean, how crazy. I was like, I'm sure she was like, am I ever going to win on this tour again? But she said she just loves the competition of it all. Emma, how cool is it to see a vet step up to the plate and lift another trophy like she did?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before time and time again, but I love seeing a vet win because it is such a grind out there. You almost sometimes get into a routine of just like showing up, playing golf, and not really thinking about winning enough. And so for these players who have been out there for years and years, you kind of get into that mental routine of just like, oh, let's see what happens this week, which is great. But, this will put a little fire under her belt, where 8.5 years went by and now she finally has a win. She hits the ball very far. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that win affects the rest of her year and the rest of her career, really, because I think this will get a little fire under her belt thinking, I want to do that more often. It's really cool to see all the hard work paid off. She is a great player. You always see her name in the top, 25.
Always.
It's not surprising she won, but I'm sure it's like almost a relief for her. So very, very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of touched on players getting used to just showing up and making the cut, getting a top 10, which is amazing in and of itself. But I thought that was interesting because I remember Jenny Shin said, I don't remember when this was, a couple of years ago. She was like, I didn't really care about winning. She was just as long as I get some top 10s and I make some money, I'm cool with that. And she said when she changed her mind and was like, I want to win, that's when she started contending, which I think is super interesting. But Adam, you touched on it earlier in the podcast that we have had 15 different winners this season. That is unheard of. Last year was a very different scenario. We had multiple wins from Nelly at this point, who,
and
by
Hannah,
the way, has won.
Right?
And Hannah, yeah, she had won 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was there was 2 people dominating on tour, and that is not the case this year. So Adam, do you think we're going to see another, a new winner this season, or do you think it might be a repeat winner?
My first pick is going to be a first-time winner for this season.
Okay.
So I think if my number 1 draft pick, maybe that might have been a spoiler alert because I don't know, Hope, if you've said what we're actually doing later on. But
I haven't, but I love it. Give a teaser.
But yeah, if that person goes on to win, it'll be 16 for 16. But I think some of my other ones have won already this season, so we shall see. I think, quickly, Nelly Corda kind of said it best on Tuesday when she talked to the media. She's like, it's just hard to win. The competition is really good. Emma, obviously, you were out there for, I guess, a decade, if not a little bit longer, so you know it firsthand. And, I think what we saw from Nelly last year was kind of, the exception to the rule. There's just golfers that are so good that are coming from all parts of the globe to play incredibly well on the LPGA Tour, and they're kind of taking no prisoners, and they come in with a lot of no scar tissue, I guess, and they've won on other tours, whether it be in Japan or South Korea or over in Europe or wherever. I think my point is just that people are coming into the LPGA Tour schedule with a lot more experience, and they're winning faster, and they're winning without really any fear about how hard it is to actually win, except for the fact that the competition is getting tougher and tougher. So anyways, yeah, we'll see about this week. I think from the perspective of can the LPGA Tour transcend and get into the casual sporting conversation. If somebody rips off the next 3 majors and has a historic run, that's great for the game. And on the other side of that coin, if you have just all these different golfers all playing incredibly well, that's also great for the game. So I think it's kind of a win-win situation right now for the LPGA Tour for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, you look at Mal Saigo. She won the Chevron Championship. I don't really think she was necessarily on anyone's radar, but she won in a 5-way playoff, which is so insane when looking back to that. Let's hope we don't have a 5-way playoff this week. That would be really cool.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot. We can't be doing that. And there's no pond to jump in afterwards. So
Let's just get this done.
We can't be doing that. But Adam teased it, so I am going to tell you guys what we are going to do, and we want everyone listening or watching to also take place in this. Tell us after we do ours who you would want on your little team. So we are basically going to do like a fantasy draft, a snake draft, whatever you want to call it. We did this in the Solheim Cup podcast last year, if anyone watched, and basically, we're going to go in, like it's going to be Adam, Emma, me, and we're going to pick one player, and we're going to each pick 3 players. We're going to go through 3 rounds, and we want to pick a winner. But if we don't pick a winner, then basically the best cumulative, oh my gosh, I can't say that word. Cumulative. I just had a small stroke. Score wins. So that is the goal. But we can like steal each other's players. We all had to prepare like at least 6 players because there's a good chance we're going to steal each other's. But yeah, it's a little game, and we all know if Emma loves one thing, it's a game.
It's a competition.
So let's get going. Adam, I have you going first. So give us your first pick of the draft.
With the first pick in the 2025 KPMG Women's PGA. No, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it with her all year long, so we're doing it now. My number 1 pick is Brooke Henderson.
I knew you were going to say that.
She's been telling me all year long, I'm close, and she finally strung 4 good rounds together last week up in Michigan. This major, as well as the one that she loves more than any, she got a sponsor invite back all the way in 2015. Just when she turned pro, she finished tied for 5th that year. She won, obviously, the next year 10 times around this particular championship and has only finished outside of the top 25 once. And KPMG Performance Insights are showing that Brooke has the best scoring average at this major over the last 10 years and the best scoring average at all the majors since 2023.
Wow. So, good stats.
New golf course, that's fine. They play a new golf course every year for the KPMG. So the combination of the vibes, the data, and the fact that she's actually maybe
Canadian,
finding some momentum, she's my number 1. Because she is Canadian. Yes. That's number 4. So there you go. Brooke Henderson, my number 1 pick.
I love it. I'm proud of you for just now picking her. It's
taken me long enough.
Big step for you. Okay, Emma, you're up next.
Okay, so I just want to say I looked at all we knew about this game is the order. So I tried to figure out who everybody was going to pick and do my order. But my first one would be a first-time winner of Hai-Jin Choi. And she has been balling out. She's trending. Let me get my little notes. She's 6th in strokes gained right now. She's 10th on CME. She's 6th in putting. So first of all, those 2 things.
That's a good
Those 2 things together,
right
that's
there.
a great combination for a major championship. She finished, her last few weeks have been 2nd at Meyer, tied for 4th at the U.S. Open, and tied for 4th in Mexico. So she is definitely trending, and that's my first time winner of the KPMG this year.
That's a really good pick. She's one of those players that's surprising that she hasn't won because she's just been so good since she's gotten on tour. So that would be a good one, and I could see it happening. Okay. My first pick is Hate on You.
Oh.
I know. I knew someone was going to want to pick her, but I just have such a good feeling about her. She's so good. She's a 3-time winner. She's so calm, cool, and collected. She's just the sweetest person ever. I love interviewing her. She's never won a major, but she's contended in plenty. She finished T6 at Chevron earlier this year. And yeah, I just got a feeling about her this week. She's always composed, and she's a pretty big hitter as well. So that is my first pick. Hate on you. So Emma, you are up next in the second round.
Okay, how to do it. Number one, Nelly Corda. I think she
Dang
has
it.
a great chance of winning this week. She is the only she's the lone, KPMG stats, she is the lone player averaging more than a full stroke off the tee in 2025, which means her ball striking is pure Reno. And for this golf course, that's what you need. She's also first in ball striking, greens and regulation, second in approach, second off the tee.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
She's the world number one.
Yeah, she's the world number one. And first, strokes gained, first and off the tee. She also won this tournament back in Atlanta a few years ago. So I just think that she probably has a little bit of like, I mean, she's won almost every tournament, I feel like now, but she has probably a little bit of like confidence going into these tournaments because she knows I feel like she probably has a couple of strokes advantage on everyone going into the field before she even tees it up. She's used to winning majors. Yeah, she's used to winning majors. Her game fits perfectly to all of our major championships. So Nelly Corda, world number one. I think she's going to do it.
Next up, my pick is Alim Kim.
Oh,
so
nice.
Another one, big hitter. She's 11th in driving distance on tour. She's already won once this year, and she's just one of those players that like, she's like got swagger. Like she's got that thing about her. She's so funny. And every time I see her out on the course, even if she's not playing well, she just looks like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm just playing in a major, whatever. Like it is what it is. And she's won a major before. That's how she originally got out on tour. So I have a really, really good feeling about Alim Kim this week. So that is my second pick. Adam, round us out for our second round.
I guess I was all rattled about what a snake draft is because I was like, how is it not my turn yet?
Now it's your turn. Wait your turn, Adam.
Yeah. All right. I'm like, well, I was ready. Rio Takeda is my number 2 pick here. Winner already this season. Tied for second in the U.S. Women's Open as well.
She was my next pick.
6 top 10s. I have a concern about her, which was the same concern that I had about Heiran Yu, and it's the putter. But I feel like if the ball striking is so good this week, then and with the grain and with the slopes and all these other things, the putting is kind of like just even Stevens a little bit for everybody. So this
Absolutely.
is so the numbers here. So strokes gained tee to green, she's 3rd. Strokes gained approach, she's 5th, and strokes gained off the tee, she's 19th. So it's a very kind of tidy stat package, but she's 125th in strokes gained putting, and Heiran Yu is even worse. She's 149th in strokes gained putting. So those kind of thing, they gave me pause, but I am of the assumption that I think the putting is going to kind of be a leveled out stat this week. Ball striking a little bit more important. You got to put yourself in a good spot on the greens. And I will say as well, Takeda's bogey percentage is the 3rd best at majors so far this season. Obviously a very small sample size with just the 2 of them, but I think somebody who's going to be avoiding bogeys, especially at a golf course that nobody's played, and especially at a golf course that's set to get crispier with a lot of trouble around, obviously, the rough. Nelly Corda, of course, she admitted she hurt herself hitting a ball out of the rough on Monday. She had that therapy tape on her neck. So, bogey avoidance, ball striking, 2 key things. So Rio Takeda is my number 2 pick in the draft.
That's a good one. Yeah, she was on my list. I was going between her and Heiran for that last pick, and I picked Heiran, so whatever. I do think both of those players, you mentioned the putting, I do think if their putting is on, like, I think they could win.
Oh, absolutely.
So there you go. And it's not even like they don't even have to have a hot putter. They have to have kind of an average putter. And they're the rest of their game is so good that, it can kind of carry them across the line. So, yes, we are, although I want to beat you, we are in agreement of that.
We all want to win, okay? All right, I will start our last round of picks, and I am going to go with Charlie Hull. This is my personal pick, like who I want to win, because I think it would just be such an amazing story. I mean, the world loves Charlie, and she would just be such a good story. She's such a long hitter. She is ranked 9th in strokes gained off the tee, and she got a top 15 finish at the US Women's Open. And to me, like, I think that's like a sign. If you played well at the US Women's Open, if you could get through that, yeah, like mentally, physically, I mean, it was a big test. I think you're most likely going to play well here. So Charlie is my last pick. She is my personal pick who I want to win. And yeah, I think she's refreshed. She spent some time at home. I got a great feeling. So fingers crossed for Charlie Hull. Next up is Adam.
Oh, but now we're back. Okay.
Now you're back.
This is vibe. This is like vibes only. This is like, I think she's due. I'm curious to see how Emma's going to react to this pick, because I'm going to pick Hannah Green with my next pick and final pick. Past champion of this major. You know, she's 7th in greens in regulation on the season, and as I mentioned, she's due. You know, 3 top 10s, tied for 12th at the U.S. Women's Open, so she was kind of close there as well to get that 4th one. Bunch of wins obviously last year. Hasn't been able to take it across the line this year, but I just think, like, if I zoom out and kind of think event, who's trending, who's won this thing before, who's got a chance, who's kind of due, who I wouldn't be surprised to see near the top of the leaderboard. All those things kind of give me Hannah Green. So there you go.
Nice.
That's my third.
I could see it.
Okay, I get to round us out. My last one is Celine Boutier. She is trending at the moment. She has the caddy that she was working with her first win ever is back on her bag. She little inside, little nugget. Her last 4 events are tied for 4th at Meyer, U.S. Open tied for 45th, which doesn't sound great, but like Hope said, if you can get through that week and like have a decent week, that means your game's at least good. 2nd at Mizuho and tied for 12th at Black Desert. She's also, I know this may sound weird, but she lives in Dallas, and I think that kind of gives her a little bit of a heads up on everyone. She's used to that grass. I think that grass in Texas is different than really anywhere else that we play. So I think that she's used to that grass. She has played well in our Texas events in the past. She is used to the heat, and I'm sure, I don't know this, I'm just guessing, Hope you may know this from media, I'm assuming she's played the golf course. And so when we talk about, you know, it's being a new golf course for everybody, she lives there. There's been a time since they announced it was going to be there that she had the chance to go out and play. So I'm assuming she's seen this golf course. She's had eyes on it before. So that is my last pick. I really think that she's trending, and I also think she's kind of like someone we haven't really talked about this year, but obviously is a really good golfer.
It's almost like Carlotta last week, right? It's kind of like, you know, we haven't heard from her in a while, but still with a nice chance.
Yes, very
I think
nice.
she is I'm surprised none of us picked her, because I think she has a chance as well. And Celine actually said in one of her press conferences last week at Meyer, where she was like playing really well, she was like, I'm feeling really good going into KPMG. You know, she mentioned what you mentioned, Emma, like, I live in Dallas. Like, I know that type of grass. I know the type of weather. And there's also like another like handful of players that live here as well that aren't like from Dallas, but I think that's something to keep an eye on, the ones that live here, because they're used to all of these things put together, and it could be the perfect concoction for them. And
absolutely.
Really quick, I meant to mention this when I talked about Charlie. She actually won in Dallas before. She won the Ascendant. Well, it's not a tournament anymore, but we had it really close to here, and she's won in Dallas before. So that like also was like the cherry on top for me. Like, she's won in my state. Yeah, exactly. But no, I think that will round us out. Great picks, everybody. May the odds be ever in your favor. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I want everyone listening and watching to comment down below and tell us your 3 picks, and let's see if you can beat us. Doubtful, but we'll see.
You won't.
We'll see.
Well, we haven't done all that great so far this year, so who knows?
So actually, you might.
It's just been shocking this year. Like, it really has.
Well, Maya came out of nowhere. Like, I don't care what anyone says. She even thought she came out of nowhere. So
Yes.
There was no way we were going to pick her unless we were like a psychic or a witch or something. But anyways, that is it. That kind of wraps us up. Do we have any final thoughts from anyone? Or are we
picking our score? Our low score as for tiebreaker?
We could do that. Like
we don't need a tiebreaker. My team's gonna win.
Okay, no tiebreaker. Period.
Okay.
All right.
We'll just see who wins.
Okay.
Oh God, I scratched my neck and it's very red. I'm good though. Okay.
Okay, great.
Guys, Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited to get this week underway. Let's see who emerges victorious. Are we going to have a first-time winner? Are we going to have a repeat winner? It could literally be anyone out here on the LPGA. The competition is so good. So everybody be sure to tune in to watch the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. It's going to be on Golf Channel, Peacock, and NBC. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And yeah, stay tuned.
Bye.
Toodles.